In the middle of the abundant potency, Indonesian seaweed faces some conditions that limit the maximalization of seaweed as a commodity. In this segment, I will deliver you some data about Indonesian seaweed. The first graphic will be Indonesian seaweed in numbers. The first data, or the numbers about the Indonesian seaweed, is 85 of the world's seaweed come from Indonesia. And the next data will be Indonesia only have 35 seaweed processing companies, and Indonesian factories can only absorb 52.78% of the seaweed to be produced and manufactured to be the derivative product of the seaweed. And there are 500 kinds of seaweed's derivative product, and only 2 kinds of derivative product produced by Indonesia's seaweed industry, and $300 million of export value so far, because the potency of the seaweed in Indonesia not maximized yet. The chairperson of the Indonesian Culture Association, Rohmin Dahuri, noted that the value of seaweed exports from Indonesia so far can only reach an average of $300 million per year. Seaweed is now also the 3rd largest marine export commodity after shrimp and tuna. The optimization of the seaweed industry needs to be immediately encouraged by building upstream and downstream sectors supported by strong research and development centers. Romin gave an example of South Korea developing the use of seaweed to become the most powerful aircraft coating material. This innovation has been developed by South Korea since 2012, so which country had become Indonesia's largest market. Let's see the graphic. We've got China, South Korea, and Chile. We've got Japan also, and Vietnam. China is still the main destination for Indonesia's seaweed export. Data from the Central Bureau of Statistics noted that exports of seaweed and other algae to China in 2017 reached 149,000 tons, or 85.5% of total exports. This number increased 6.23% from the previous year, while the value of marine mud exports to the country increased 37.3% to $127.6 million from the previous $92.97 million. Trend-wise, how about the dynamic of Indonesia's seaweed productivity? Let's see the graphic. It seems like from 2015 to 2017, the numbers of the Indonesian seaweed productivity experiencing downfall. As you can see, from 2015, the productivity reached 11.27 million tons, and the number decreased in 2016. It only reached 11.05 million tons, and in 2017, the productivity only can reach 10.81 million tons. The fall in production volume is in line with the ineffectiveness of land use. The deputy chairperson of the Maritime and Fisheries Chamber of Commerce and Industry, or Kardin, Yugi Prayanto, stressed the need for seaweed industrialization, which followed the balance of industrial development between upstream and downstream. In the downstream sector, according to him, there is nothing wrong with the exporting of seaweed as a raw material, but however, he hopes that the national industry can also optimize the use of local seaweed to be to have more added value. And how maximum is the usage of seaweed culture area? We're going to see from the total potential area to be utilized as the seaweed culture area. Only 2% already utilized, and 98% haven't been utilized yet. Based on the data of Ministry and Marine Fishery data at the present, the extent of seaweed cultivation is still at 2.25%, or around 267.814 hectares of the indicative potential of the marine aquaculture area, or of 12.12 million hectares. In fact, there is an area of 2.64 million as the potential of indicative seaweed cultivation. The potential for Indonesian seaweed production has not been fully explored. According to the chairperson of the Indonesian Aquaculture Society, Rohmin, if every hectare can produce 17 tons per year, then 2 million hectares of shallow marine waters in Indonesia have the potential to produce seaweed, 34 million tons of seaweed every year. Meantime, there are the list of problems lingering in Indonesia's seaweed. What are those? Let's see the data. This is the problem. The first one is the high logistic cost, and then the second one is market uncertainty, the lack of seaweed-based investment, product diversification, global market qualifications, and lack of research and development. There are some commitments from the Ministry and Marine and Fisheries to keep pushing on national seaweed industrialization to get a better economic value. Safari Aziz, the chairman of Indonesia Seaweed Association, hoping that government will see Indonesia's seaweed problems comprehensively. Moreover, government is urging the sector to maximize the development of downstream industry, so Indonesia's seaweed will have an added value. And stay with us after the break. Market headlines. We'll be right back.